Good morning, and thank you for joining me for this month's Full Scope workshop. Today, we will be having an open discussion about the annual International Sculpture Day. Our speakers today are Julian Voss Andre, I hope I said that correctly, Courtney Lester, and Manju Philip, is that how you say it?
That's great.
Who are all connected to the International Sculpture Center, which is the organization who publishes the popular International Sculpture magazine. Before we begin, I would like to remind all attendees that this workshop is being recorded and will be posted on our county website and social media accounts indefinitely. By participating in the discussion, you are agreeing to be included in the recording. We will take a couple of breaks throughout the discussion for questions. If you would like to ask a question or make a comment, you can either raise your hand icon or type it in the chat box, and we will address them the best we can. So please welcome our speakers today. Let's have each of our speakers introduce themselves, who they are, and what their ties are to the International Sculpture Center. Can we please start with Courtney?
Sure. My name's Courtney Lester. I'm the Community Engagement Manager at the International Sculpture Center. I've been with ISC for almost a year officially, I think in about 2 weeks. So I'm relatively new, but I've been familiar with the organization for quite a while. I sort of went through my schooling with Sculpture Magazine as one of my teaching tools, so I'm very familiar and happy to be part of the organization.
Time today, Courtney. Manju, go ahead and please introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Manju Philip, and I am the Membership and Subscription Manager at the International Sculpture Center. I've been here for almost 12 years, and I kind of oversee the benefits and services for members and also manage membership and subscription at the ISC.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here with us today. Julian, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Julian Voss Andre. I'm originally from Germany. I moved to the US in the year 2000 approximately, and I was a physicist in my former life. So then when I came, I studied art and I got into sculpture early on. And so I graduated in 2004, and I think in 2006 I went to my first International Sculpture Center conference. That was, I believe, in Cincinnati back then. Yeah, and so I was always interested, of course, since I was into sculpture and read Sculpture Magazine. And in about 3 years ago, after going to all these conferences and kind of like, getting to know the people at the IC a little bit better, I decided to become a board member. And so I'm on the board there now, and it's a really cool organization, and it's fun to be involved in this. It's volunteer work, but it's great as an artist to see what other people do and how a nonprofit like this works.
Yes,
I'm a
definitely.
sculptor, I should say. I'm doing sculpture since for 20 years, like now the last. I do that as my professional full-time job.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Julian. Well, we're happy to have you here because your perspective is definitely important in this as well.
Thank you.
So let's go ahead and dive into the questions for our discussion. We have a couple of prompt questions that we're going to go through, but we'll just keep it with the flow. But let's start off with what is the International Sculpture Center? Maybe Manju or Courtney can answer that one.
We do have a presentation if we're able to share that.
That would be great. Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, can everyone see okay?
We see your WebEx window.
Yeah, we see your WebEx window, not a presentation.
Stop sharing.
Is your presentation open already by chance?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so when you click on share, you should go to screen or application, and then your presentation should pop up on the right hand, and you'll be able to click it and share. Did that work?
It's not. I think we don't have the permission to share at this time.
Me. Let me give you that control right now. Okay, try again. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
That's okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we are the International Sculpture Center. The ISC is a member-supported nonprofit arts organization founded in 1960. The ISC was created with a vision that remains as strong today as it was over half a century ago, to advance the creation and understanding of sculpture and its unique and vital contribution to society. So we've been around quite a while, but still relatively new enough to be kind of evolving with the field of sculpture as it evolves. And this is a little bit about our mission. Our mission is mainly to expand public understanding and appreciation of sculpture internationally.
Sorry, Courtney, sorry to interrupt, but you were seeing the PowerPoint, not the actual slide. It's like stuck on the first slide because it's the app.
Let me see.
Okay, cool.
How's that look?
Great.
All right. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. So our mission is to expand public understanding and appreciation of sculpture internationally. We also want to demonstrate the power of sculpture to educate and affect social change, and engage artists and art professionals in a dialogue to advance the art form. And our other goal is to promote a supportive environment for sculpture and sculptors. A little bit about what we do. So we do quite a lot, even though we are kind of a small organization. We host events throughout the year. So a couple things that we do to engage in critical discourse is our International Sculpture Conference. We also have award galas, cultural tours, and of course, International Sculpture Day. We also have publication. We serve as the lead voice and the preeminent publisher on contemporary sculpture in the US and around the world. Current issues and topics are offered through our various publications, including Sculpture Magazine, ISC Pressbooks, and ISC Blog. Opportunities, we offer members access to opportunities including internships, competitions, conferences and symposia, employment opportunities, membership, public art projects, residencies, scholarships, grants, fellowships, studio rentals and workshops. That's just to name a few. We also have a strong presence in community. We build and enhance strong relationships within the sculpture community through dynamic programming, online community and forums, and special events. The ISC provides meaningful networking opportunities and interaction among sculpture professionals.
Courtney, sorry to interrupt again, but you're not proceeding the slides. It's because we are in the PowerPoint application.
I think maybe if you click on the small icon all the way to the bottom, it should maximize the view of your presentation. One of the small icons all the way at the bottom.
Maybe this one.
It is showing as a full screen on our end.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay. Let's see what's going on. Can you possibly click on that icon that looks like an open book all the way at the bottom? Maybe that'll help the view for us. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay, that's wonderful. We also handle awards. We have a lot of awards programming, which is partially what I'm engaged in. The Distinguished Outstanding Student Achievement in Contemporary Sculpture Award. We have the Lifetime Achievement Award, Patron Award, and an Outstanding Educator Award. Each of these are different programs that recognize excellence in the field of sculpture at all career levels and interests. And we are kind of the go-to place for resources related to sculpture. We offer a comprehensive directory for finding all things sculpture, including university sculpture programs, public art, fabricators, art in airports, sculptor groups, sculpture, and parks and gardens.
Stop now, or you continue? Do you want?
Eileen, do you want us to go right into ISDAY, or do you have any other questions for us?
Actually, yeah, before we go into International Sculpture Day, I'd like to hear a little bit from Julian. Can we hear a little more of what your roles are as a board member and what kind of impact do you have on the International Sculpture Center and the event itself?
I mean, it's you can basically get as active as you want. The thing is, like, we are basically volunteers, and it's a paying board, so it's a big part of fundraising for the whole organization are the board members. And so besides that, there's different committees. It's like any other nonprofit, and you can essentially get as involved as you want. So in my case, I haven't been getting terribly involved because I have so much to do at this point in my life. But there's the sky's the limit. You can, if you have an idea of what you would like to see happen, you definitely can make it happen because it's flexible enough for that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Julian. So yeah, let's dive into what is the International Sculpture Day.
Absolutely.
Over here in Nevada, I graduated at UNLV, University of Nevada, here in Las Vegas. And my major was sculpture. And I do remember going to class every, once a month, we'll get a stack of International Sculpture magazines. And I always see the International Sculpture Day event. So yes, please let us know what it's all about.
Yeah, just like you, Eileen, I can relate to that. I think that was probably one of the first things that I came across besides the magazine was during class, we would celebrate International Sculpture Day, usually around April, and it was always something to look forward to. So this year, International Sculpture Day falls on April 27th, which is a Saturday. So that gives a little bit of leeway with people who have full-time jobs. We can sort of celebrate on the weekend too. A little bit about ISDAY is it typically occurs on the last Saturday of April every year. It's a worldwide celebration event to further the International Sculpture Center's mission of advancing the creation and understanding of sculpture and its unique, vital contribution to society. It was created in 2015, and it's been highly received with exponential growth each year. There's a little bit of images from our feed from last year. A little bit about past celebrations. In 2015, over 300 members joined the ISC in celebrating the first International Sculpture Day. By 2016, hundreds of organizations joined the ISC in promoting the creation and understanding of sculpture and its impact on the public. In 2020, ISDAY featured 535 events in 42 countries, reaching around 21 million and gaining 48 million impressions. So we've always had a pretty good track record with getting some energy and celebration among ISDAY. We've had some pretty good experiences with growing that as well.
Yeah, it looks like within 5 years, you guys grew so much, so fast. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and we've had all sorts of, from museums to individual artists. We've had people from all walks of life engage in celebrating, even things that you wouldn't particularly think would be in the realm of sculpture. Like, for example, we had the FBI like reposted our tweet, and they were looking for like stolen sculptures, and they kind of
Oh,
piggybacked
wow.
off of our off of our sort of social media attention to kind of have that happen, have some attention as well. But yeah, we've just had people from all over, all sorts of institutions. There's really no limit to who can participate.
Yeah, and that's also the cool thing. I mean, it's often perceived by the sculpture community that the ISC is this thing that like lofty up there and hard to even bridge that gap. But it's really a way to grassroots the whole thing. Everybody can just participate. You can click on the website. You can see where on the map is something close to you, or you just say, I make my own thing, and everything fits in there. That's really wonderful.
Absolutely.
Great. And how did you become involved, Julian, in the event itself? Did you start participating at first, or?
You know, I actually remember when Johanna, the executive director, announced it at a conference, and she was like, I have this idea. I think it was actually her idea, but I'm not totally sure. But she was like, she announced and said, let's celebrate ISDAY and International Sculpture Day. And everybody was like, huh, what's that? And so she's like, we just invented it. And so, and everybody thought it was a really good idea. And it took off really quick. So, and I remember when I moved into my new studio where I'm now, that was in 2016. So we had an opening celebration here, a pretty big one, where that was coupled with the International Sculpture Day. And we did a few other events here over the years.
That's amazing. So you were there pretty much from day one, right?
When it comes to ISDAY, yes, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's amazing to hear. Well, okay, then let's get into how artists can get involved then. That would be a great information for our attendees right now since it's coming up quick.
Sure thing. It's relatively easy to participate. And there's sort of levels to how you can participate, like based on how much time you have and what kind of effort like you'd like to put in. But just to give some examples of the range of events that we kind of come across with ISDAY, we can help promote open access days at a museum or sculpture park. We can promote open studio tours, demonstration, workshops, panels, talks, presentations, discussions. Parties and openings also count. And then sculpture exhibits that are already up around ISDAY. You can have pop-up shows that are maybe just for the day. If you're wanting to have tours of collections, either private or public or welcome. A lot in the past has been foundry related as well. So we can highlight communal and private iron pours, bronze pours, aluminum pours, and anything that you think encompasses sculpture or celebrates sculpture. Like Julian kind of emphasized, there's no limit to how you can celebrate this event. We can also, just to sort of reinstate, like it just doesn't have to be big scale celebration either. In the past, like I used to teach at a nonprofit with like a small group of children, and we always did something for ISDAY, even if we didn't record it. You know, we'd do like paper sculptures or go outside and look at sculpture. It can be anything that in your way involves sculpture. Just like simply recognizing the date and inviting communities to be present to celebrate sculpture. And it doesn't even have to be on April 27th. It can be the week before, it can be the week after. But one surefire way to participate is posting and using the hashtag ISDAY on Instagram or on Facebook. And then another way to participate is visiting sculpture.org. We can send this link out as well straight to the registration. You can register your event or your celebration, and it's fairly simple. It probably takes, I would say, less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot of information that we request, but it does help promote your event. And we do have a new interactive platform this year that is going to help with that.
That is really awesome. Now, we do have a quick question in the chat. Would you like to address it real quick before we move on?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. We have a question from Judy May Huck. Can you give examples of museum education events for ISDE? Or I work for literary arts. Have you seen any events tied to creative writing?
I don't personally believe I've seen any events tied to creative writing. But I guess if you're looking to do an event around writing that becomes more physical, you could do something like taking a poem or a short story and like physically printing that out and making sculpture with it. That's like my first thought that comes to mind. But with museum programming,
You could probably do it at an exhibition, a sculpture exhibition. She could hold the event there. That would be just because we do have a museum who has signed up for International Sculpture Day. And what they're doing is they have a high school prom happening on the same day. And what they're doing, they've encouraged all the kids to have their prom pictures taken around the sculpture exhibition they have at the museum, and just use the hashtag. All the photos will be posted on social media using the hashtag ISDE. So that would be an option. She could have it done as well, have the event centered around either an exhibition or around sculptures.
That's really interesting. Judy said, great idea to encourage photos, and thank you. How about you,
I
Julian?
could also, sorry, yeah, and I could also talk about the literary arts. Maybe there's a way to talk about sculpture, interpret sculpture, you know, like creative writing around sculpture would be really interesting. I don't think anybody has ever done this. I think it'd be awesome.
yeah, that sounds like a great idea too.
Well, Judy, that sounds like an invitation for you to get something going with that. All right. Well, is there anything else we need to know in order to get involved with ISDE?
We can talk about a little bit more about our interactive program. I think I have some information for you there just to get you a little more familiar with it. So once you've registered, you can see our interactive platform, which it is available to the public as well, but you are joining this group essentially of other people that have registered for ISDE. So this is what our platform looks like. So you'll find there's a couple options to help you celebrate. You can be more informed, ways to participate and promote. And then we have a little bit about our past ISDEs and just frequently asked questions. And then, so you'll also see on that page our hashtag ISDE Live, which is the live feed that pulls up anything with a hashtag ISDE. So that is one way to also kind of get yourself exposure, and it is brought directly to the website. So this is on sculpture.org. And then we have an ongoing list of upcoming events. So anyone who has registered their events and is a member, they will be featured here, and this will redirect to your event and its description and any links that you may have included. We also do have a photo gallery, which is available for people to post in. And then you'll see we have forums open. So we have Let's Talk ISDE, which is just like a general forum where you can post about your event, you can post photos, and you can ask people about their events. You know, it's to communicate between registrants to see if maybe there's collaboration that can happen. You can share ideas. You can say, hey, I have this idea, but has anyone executed something like this in the past and can help? Or if you're really just kind of like grasping for straws here, like you can get some ideas from other people and what they're doing. We also have a blog that at bare minimum right now updates once a week, but it will be more populated closer to the actual IS Day, which is filled with awesome articles on things that can kind of bring inspiration and how you can celebrate. So we have like a preparation list of things you consider before having your event or creating your event. There's little mini challenges that kind of encourage like types of sculpture you can approach. We can do sculpture on the go, which is, sort of making sculptures out of whatever little materials you have, or making sculpture away from, the indoors. There's blogs that kind of highlight some of our members and what they're doing for IS Day. There's all sorts of great materials on the blog pretty much weekly. So that's mostly what our interactive platform is. But yeah, that is also available to the public as well. So anything that's posted on there gets all the exposure.
That's really great. It's nice that you have a platform where people can get together and kind of connect, right? Because sometimes we need to network and kind of find our group or our tribe, right? So that's really wonderful.
Right.
Well, since we're getting into that, are there any do's and don'ts that artists should know when participating? Are there any like hard no's that you've ever encountered before?
I would say the hard don't is post and not put the hashtag IsDay, because then you're just, it's leaving it wide open and not
Yeah,
going to
definitely.
our website. But as for like hard don'ts, it's, as long as you're being inclusive and celebrating sculpture in a way that you think is positive and matters, like it's open.
That sounds great. And for all three of you, are there any, what kind of sculpture would you like to see participate in the coming years? Maybe this year, hopefully. Anything exciting that you wish to see that somebody would install out there?
I think everything that transcends, the boundaries. I mean, everything that's interesting and new. And I mean, especially if it's like not something that is traditionally sculpture, I think it's awesome to see how it ripples out into other fields, at least
Right.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Julian. Something that makes me go like, is that sculpture? Which means it is sculpture. That's
Right.
always been my thought process, is like, if it doesn't fit anything else, it's sculpture to me. And I think that's so wonderful about like the sculptural community and sculpture as a medium.
Right. It can be anything. It can be made out of anything. Yeah, definitely. That is the one thing that I did fall in love with when I started sculpting.
Me too.
Anything. Anything can be a sculpture. Well, that's really great. It looks like we have a couple of questions on the chat, and maybe it's time to jump into that topic anyway. Vision asks, is there a fee to be a member? And is sculpture.org separate from your organization?
So, no, sculpture.org is the official website to the ISC, so that is correct, and that is where you would be getting all the information. There is a fee to be a member. Actually, we do have two categories.
I'm sorry, Manju, but I think the person spelled sculptor.org, which is not sculpture.org.
Oh,
That seems to be a different website. I just checked it out.
Oh,
But that's
okay.
not
It's a different one.
ISC.
So it's sculpture.org.
That's ours. Yeah.
That's
But
the
this
name.
one is not.
Yeah, thank you for catching that, Julian. We do have different levels of membership, and it's pertaining to two main categories, which are the individual levels and the organization. So the individual levels, again, it's based on the different benefit packages that each one gets. So I would definitely recommend you checking out our website, but just to give a quick overview, it starts off from the very basic where you get the magazine, so you sign up as a subscriber. Then you do have the next level would be the limited, which is at $70, and that you get the magazine as well as access to opportunity listings, which is the open calls for artists. And then the working artists who would like to kind of promote their work, have a portfolio, and then access to the magazines. And then we have a member area. All of that would come out to 120. And then we have the enhanced individual level where you get enhanced exposure for your work as well as all the basic member benefits. And that starts at $350.
But participating in ISTE is free, right? You can, everybody can do
Yeah,
that.
it's free. Also, to participate is free, and to register is free as well for ISTE. You do not have to be a member.
Okay, wonderful. And wow, those are really great services, and it's great that you have different options as well. Because there are all different levels of artists at the moment. We have our entry levels, people who are already established. So it's really great that you offer different types. Well, let's see. What other services can our attendees find at the International Sculpture Center? Can you talk a little bit more about those services that you went over?
Sure, absolutely. Just pulling up my PowerPoint. No, I think it's not. Yeah, okay. That's your PowerPoint, right?
Yes.
Just. I think you have to give me the permission once again.
Oh no, okay, let me do that. I apologize, I didn't think it would reset.
Yeah, we were opening a different PowerPoint, so I guess that's what happened.
Okay, let's try that again.
There we go.
It did pop up, but it disappeared again.
Yeah, it keeps clicking. It says we don't have the permission again.
Oh no. All right, did that work out?
Yeah, not it.
Awesome.
Okay, so does everyone see the screen?
Yes,
Yep.
wonderful, thank you.
So this is just a little presentation about what the ISE offers. As I said, the ISE has memberships and subscriptions. We do offer memberships to both individuals as well as organizations. So just a snapshot of what the benefits are for as an individual is they do get visibility for their work has through the ISE portfolios, and they are also we do feature the members on a separate page called the Featured Sculptures, where we highlight members depending on the medium they work on. We also have a page for member news where if members have exhibitions or commissions or residencies that they would like to showcase, they are able to do that. And of course, there is Sculpture Magazine where members are also able to advertise their work in there, or if they have reviews, they are featured in there as well. We have the open calls for artists, which is what we refer to as ISE opportunities. In this, we have sculpture-focused open calls for commissions, exhibitions, residencies, for artists to kind of search for commissions and job opportunities. We also have grants and fellowships if you're looking for kind of aids to help you out in your works and projects as well. We also have, as a member, you would have access to relevant information on artistic practices and trends, and you get this either in the form from the magazine as well, but we also have a member forum in the member area where people do have discussions and can ask questions if they have questions relating to whether it's their work or just in general want to see how to do things. We also offer workshops and panel discussions. And so all of these are kind of free for members, and they are able to attend the panel discussions and workshops as well. And last but not the least, we have a member area, a social platform pretty similar to the Facebook, and all the members are able to communicate and interact there. They do exchange images of their works, and if they have questions, they post it. And it's kind of our artist-centered social platform where all the members are able to interact. When it comes to organizations, we pretty much have memberships for pretty much organizations that focus on sculptures, such as sculpture parks, museums, galleries, as well as institutions, universities. So this is the main idea, main points of the benefits would be, once again, they're able to connect on the platform as well as through our programming, and conferences has been an area where a lot of members have been able to network and interact with others. We also have a listing on our website where organizations are able to be included in the directory listing, promoting their programs and whatever services they have to offer, and be seen in the sculpture community. And they also as well have access to Sculpture Magazine and all the workshops and programmings that we offer. So just going in depth with, from an individual member's aspect of member benefits, as I mentioned, we did have the online portfolio. So this is pretty much just a simple profile where members are able to showcase their work and include as much details as they want and showcase their credentials there. Their profile, ISE member profile, is linked to the sculpture listing. So you would be able to, anyone who visits our website would be able to find you there. It is a searchable database, and so you are found either by your location or by the medium in which you work. Also, one of the unique features of the ISE portfolio is you do get a unique and personalized link URL, which you would be able to use and share with others, and you want to direct them to this profile and show your work. The other, you do get unlimited images in the profile, so you can put as many images as you want. They does have a unique feature of being, you are able to organize your work in albums, whether it's by collections or projects, so that way you can kind of keep it separate and links direct someone else to, if you just want them to see a particular project or just a collection, you're able to do that here as well. And also, not only are you able to include just images, you are able to include your resume, files, videos, anything pertaining to your work, you're able to include that in the profile. There, ISE as a member, you also get more visibility for your work. Aside from your portfolio, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a member news. So if you have any commissions that you would like to promote there or let kind of showcase to you, this is something you can do. And all of this is included on the website and is visible to the public. Another thing ISE members are able to include their work is on ISE Artsy. We do have an Artsy account and we do run exhibitions and shows there. So every now and then we reach out to our members, professional members and regular members, and asking them if they would like to be included in the exhibition. It's pretty much like how you apply to a regular exhibition. We do have that and you would be able to include your work. And as I mentioned, also, we have Sculpture Magazine where you would be able to include your work. The other one, main member benefit is the ISE Opportunities, which is the open calls. It is you have access to the latest and comprehensive listings of open calls, which are basically sculpture focused. So the key point of coming to the ISE Opportunities is you don't have to go through loads of listings and search for sculpture related. Everything you have out here is sculpture focused, so it kind of reduces your work into a certain extent. And the listings we have out there, they range from public art commissions to juried exhibitions, residency, fellowships, grants, studio rentals, internships, employments, and much more. And we do the thing about the ISE Opportunities is, once again, it's a searchable database. So you can search by location, by medium, or if it's a keyword, you are able to search for all that. And as a member, you're also able to subscribe to it. So if someone posts once a new opening is posted there, you get an alert right away. So you're able to keep up with any latest and upcoming open calls as well. And then, of course, there's the Sculpture Magazine. So all members do get a subscription of Sculpture Magazine. It is articles and interviews on emerging and little-known artists from all around the world who are making important contributions to the field and shaping its future direction. It does come in 6 issues per year. It's available in both print and digital. If you do subscribe to the digital, you do have free access to the free app, which is downloadable for you as well. And we do have a different website for Sculpture Magazine. And on that website, we have articles, reviews, interviews that are uploaded regularly. So in between the issues, you can always visit Sculpture Magazine website to just stay informed and get more articles and information there as well. So I know there has been a lot of questions about, I also mentioned the social area, the platform, social platform where members are able to engage and collaborate. We've seen a lot of our members connecting and making new friends. We also have members who collaborate out there on projects. They get connected, and that has been pretty interesting to see how our members interact. It is definitely a way to build partnerships and build relationships, and just also interacting not only with your peers or artists, but also with experts in the industry. We also have sculpture parks, curators, galleries, educators, all kinds of people from all different respects in the field that are communicating and interacting out there on the social platform. So members do have an advantage of being able to connect and communicate with them as well.
Great. Thank you so much. That was really great information. And I actually had a quick question about what you covered. You said you also have listings of art calls from around. Where do you get these listings? I noticed that you also get public art calls. Is
Yes.
that something, how do you gather those calls? Do you have some kind of partnership with those organizations, or can anyone kind of send you an art call or a call for artists or whatnot, and you'll be able to post it?
Yeah, so it is free to post. So we have most of the organizations, public art agencies, whether it's our universities or even whoever has put out the open call, they come and post it there. So
Okay.
posting is free. It is only visible by members, but posting is free. So most of the calls are posted there by the issuing agency or issuing organizations. But there are a couple of them where we also research, and if we come across something that's really interesting and we feel would be beneficial to our members, we go and post them there as well. But that's how they're listed in, I mean, that's how the listings are included in ISE opportunities.
Really awesome. So do these organizations have to be a member of ISC or
No,
um
to post it is free. So all they pretty
okay.
much have to do is just, it's a free account they post in, and they, once they post, kind of create their account, we've seen all of them just anytime they have an open call, they just come in and post it on their own.
Oh, that's really wonderful to hear because we do have art calls also for sculptures, public art pieces,
Right.
and we'd love to find ways to get that word out
That's
there. So thank
yeah,
you for
that
that.
would be great. Yeah, you can definitely post it there, and it's kind of, it's free, and you get viewership. Like we have over 3,500 members who are in the member area, so they, who you potentially have an audience of over 3,500 members who could potentially see your calls. So yeah, that would be awesome if you could share it. We'd be happy
Yeah,
to share it there as well.
that's amazing. Well, thank you. We're definitely gonna do that. Well, let's see. That was a lot of information for
Can I,
membership.
sorry, can I add
Um,
some little bit to the member, what the benefits are of a membership?
yes, please. I
In
was
my own,
actually about to ask.
okay, in my own example, I just like, I remember, I came out of college, I did my art degree, and then for a few years, I didn't make any money, but I had this dream of becoming an artist who would able to sustain my own life and maybe even kids' lives with making art. And I remember when I went to these conferences since 2006. I graduated in 2004, and and around 2010, I asked myself, is this really worth the money? Because I didn't have any. And then I got this biggest ever at that point public commission because I met a person at a conference in 2010 that then became public peace in 2014, I believe. So it took a while to get there, but that made me realize that for an artist, you don't really have the ability to, put an ad in the newspaper or it's not a car that you sell. It's a very different. So at the end of the day, you need to connect to other people because you can't advertise in the traditional way. So there's no other way really but to get out there and network. And I think the IST is a very good organization in order to do that. I think it's important to understand there's the beginning stages, and you have certain aspects that you need from the ISC or want or can get. But then when you get to the up the ladder and are able to make money with sculpture, then it becomes a very different thing and a very, very important too in its own right. So just want to share that.
Thank you. That's really great insight. And that's something we need to hear, right? Because sometimes we need that encouragement to know that it's possible. And
Absolutely.
having a
Yeah.
platform like ISC, it's really wonderful because it reaches such a big audience, and it's like a one stop shop, pretty much, right?
Yeah, and when you're in school, all you communicate with is your teachers, and your teachers are typically the people, and no offense, but they're the people who have a day job. They don't do it full time. So you're very
Right.
biased in your information. If you meet actual professional artists, it's a very different story.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. It's definitely important to be able to connect with people from different levels as well, right? Not just the same level as you are, but
Right.
also where they're coming from and where they've been and all their experiences. So yeah, it's a really great platform that you all have there. Very
Um,
beneficial.
I would just like to add on to like what Julian said. Another thing we generally get is a lot of artists tell us, "Oh, we have our own website. Why do I need to have a profile on ISC?" And yes, it's true. They might even have a much better looking website, like let's actually spend money. But the key to having a profile listing in ISE is you could have a website and you could include your link, your website link on ISE. What happens is it kind of drives traffic to your website because all the visitors who are coming to ISE and searching for the artists in a particular medium or a particular location, when they search and they see your link there or your website link, they come directly to your. So it's kind of like a marketing tool for you where you get through your membership and it pretty much directs all of ISE's website visitors to you. So while you might say, yes, I have my own website and I don't need any more to have an additional one, it's just kind of adding on to your website and kind of channeling more visitors to you. So that's what we try to tell members, I mean, non-members, when they tell us, why do I need a profile?
Right, and that makes sense. I mean, even if you have your own website, where are you going to put that website for people to see?
Right.
You have to find somewhere to put that link up, right, for them to even come there. So yeah, that's really great. That gives them a lot more viewers that way, right? Yeah, that's really great. Well, we went through those questions pretty fast, but I do want to ask one last questions before we get into attendees' questions. What was I know this wasn't in the list that I sent you guys, so this is just a pop quiz kind of question. I'd like to hear what are some of your favorite sculptures that you've seen submitted for the event before?
I would say mine was probably, they weren't distinct sculptures per se, but they were activities that were done by kindergarten students on this day. And it was their interpretation of what a sculpture should be. So it was pretty interesting. There were kids who made with papers. They just kind of scribbled things on papers. There were kids who made with Play-Doh. They made all kinds of things. So it was just their interpretation of what sculpture looked like. So I think that was kind of interesting. It was definitely interesting to see that there's no age barrier to the celebration and the day. So I would say that was mine.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and it's great when you have children trying to show you what you think you already know, and then they show you something completely different, right? It's
Right.
amazing. Yeah, that might have to be a favorite of mine as well then. Um, Courtney, Julian, how about you? Any favorites from past sculpture days?
Julian, do you want to go first?
Well, it's always hard when you are asking artists about his favorite sculpture. To be honest, it's always my own. What can I say?
Yeah, exactly.
No, just kidding. No, we've seen. I mean, I remember what was it in Bolivia? Teresa's. She built this art center there. I met her on several sculpture conferences, and she has this amazing place in Bolivia where she made this giant fingerprint, like a fingerprint pattern out of rocks, but really big, like hundreds of feet. And that's really cool. That's in my mind.
I think well, I haven't been like around so long, but I've been on the other end of like participating. So I guess my favorite would have been we made sculptures within a 24-hour period. Like that was our assignment for International Sculpture Day from our professor. So we had a full 24 hours to make a piece of work that we really liked and didn't want to throw in like straight in the trash. But we also gave rules to each other, which is also fun. Like I think one of the rules for me was I couldn't use attachments, so I couldn't like use a staple gun. I couldn't use glue. It just had to kind of fit together and still be a sculpture. And I have a picture of it somewhere, but I made like this very odd looking thing I would typically not, and it lit up. It was like it looked like a giant pillow with a light bulb on top of it, and it did work. We did like rig it up to where it turned on, but
Okay.
I will never forget that challenge from ISDE.
Wow, that sounds kind of fun. That sounds like a great interactive experience type of thing, right? Like,
Yeah, and it's just another way to adjust sort of like the level of difficulty. You know, if you're, you know, Manju's talking about like kindergartners participating, and that's like great. We want that to happen, but how do we make it interesting for like all levels? And when students kind of hear it, they're like, oh, I want something that kind of challenges me too. So that was like a great way to like take an interpretation of how to celebrate.
that is very cool. Definitely. I love all the hands-on stuff, right? It's amazing. Okay, well, that was one of our final questions. We're gonna go ahead and open it up for questions real quick from the attendees. And let's see. So if attendees, if you have any questions, oh, it looks like we have one already. Let me unmute you, Tony, and you can go ahead and ask your question. Go ahead, Tony.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. My question is actually for Julian. When you were talking about your background, you were saying that you had knowledge in physics. And as someone that's an artist, but also into science and biotechnology, I know some of your artwork being like your RNA, DNA sculptures, your quantum sculptures. And I was just curious on other ways that your background in physics has inspired your artistic career.
Yeah, thanks. That's a good question. I mean, I started out I started out with sculpture actually because I was intrigued by protein sculpture. So I found this neat way of turning protein structural data into cutting instructions to make miter cut sculptures. And that's how I got hooked to 3D work. And what I'm trying to say is it started out with very like obvious connections and kind of, I took certain ideas from quantum physics and transposed them into sculpture. But the more I proceeded, now I'm doing almost exclusively figurative works, which still looks sciencey in its own way, but the real inspiration for me was what I'd learned in quantum physics. I was I did my graduate research in this group in Vienna with Anton Zeilinger, who won the 22 Nobel Prize. And what we did is we really looked at the foundation of quantum physics, where the transition is between the world as we know it, classical physics, to the weirdness of quantum physics. Where's the dividing line? Is there one? And that kind of triggered over the last 20 plus years in my mind a real departure from reductionist materialist thinking. What does it mean to be in science, to be thinking in terms of causality and determinism and logic, Aristotelian logic, and how does it shackle us? We think of it as freeing and powerful, and it is, but it also shackles us in a certain way to be stuck in this paradigm. So it's been a really interesting ride to kind of like go beyond that, and go into now more of what we would call spirituality, stuff that has to do with UFOs or psychedelics, where these worlds come together, where indigenous kind of paradigms clashed with our contemporary Western paradigm. That's kind of the path I've been on. I mean, that's pretty sort of like a long-winded way of answering sort of your question, but that's where I'm at in my mind right now.
No, I seriously love your answer, and I love your work. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Tony. Vision, did you have a question as well?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I see. You can hear me. No, I mean, I think they pretty much cleared it up. It's free to register, and all you have to do is just create some type of related event for that day. I was just kind of trying to wrap my head around what you could do in a day. I guess it's you don't have to start a piece and finish it the same day. You just have to kind of have some type of sculpture related event and use the hashtag. I believe I have seen their page before, so they did clear that up. You guys said that you're a nonprofit.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You can
I was just
use ISTE as an excuse, you know, to do something, to make something real.
It is a great excuse.
I hear you, but you have to have an event space, so that would be the only thing. And I think it helps if you
No.
have other people who are also
You could have
doing.
some friends and put some sculptures in a public park and then take them out again. I mean, it's really, you can do whatever you want.
It could be in someone's basement. I mean,
Exactly.
basements turn into pop-up shows all the time.
Very correct. That is true.
There's something that goes around every June also, I believe, that has started. It's called the Game of Shrooms, where they kind of hide these little sculptures and pictures and artwork of mushrooms around for other artists to find them. And that kind of reminded me of how you run the IS event is you kind of have just like a map where you can find all the people that's participating, so you don't have to be professionally participating, just kind of celebrating the day itself, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. That's really great. And it's very inclusive because it's really open for everybody, right? And not just here in America, it is also all over the world, not just here, correct?
It is all
Yeah.
over the world.
And it should be, you know, we should transcend every boundary.
Definitely, definitely. That's so beautiful. That's so great. Well, all right. Do we have any other questions from our attendees? Let me check.
I did have one other question. I'm sorry, Eileen.
Sure, yeah, go for it.
And on your website, are there any kind of practical educational resources, such as let's say, for instance, how to prepare work for a foundry, or let's say, for instance, what Julian does? I'm assuming he prepares digital files and has steel plasma cut, you know, these kinds of technical tutorials or step-by-steps on how to prepare certain types of work. Do you guys have resources such as this?
Well, you could definitely check out the blogs. And in the blog sections, we do have practices and studio practices as well as techniques. You wouldn't find step-by-step instructions, but these are from artists' perspective and their experience and creation of their work. So I would definitely say you could check out the blog section of the ISC.
That's available to anyone, or you have to be?
Yeah, it is available to everybody.
I see.
And you can do a search by keyword there as well. So if you're looking in particular for a certain article or information, you can do a search there as well.
I see. Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, that's good. Resources as well. Any other questions from the attendees? Let me check the chat. It looks like nothing at the moment. So while no one has any questions, I'm going to go ahead and break for announcements really quick, and then we'll open it up again for final questions and final words from our speakers. So let me go ahead and share my PowerPoint really quick. Can everyone see that okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So quick announcements from Clark County Public Arts Office. Our next full scope educational workshop will be next month, Tuesday, May 21st at 10 a.m. as well. And our topic that we will be covering is mural pricing. Full Scope Workshop for May will have a presentation by artist Thomas Detour Evans about how to price murals as a professional artist. Attendees will have the chance to ask questions about the topic during the question and answer segment, followed by more announcements. And then for our gallery calls, we have our Juneteenth group art exhibition. The deadline for that is Sunday, May 12th at 11:59 p.m., so end of day. That will be at our Pearson Community Center, and we have our juror, a local Vogue Robinson. So the scope for this, let me make this a little bigger because I cannot read that small. Artists are invited to submit artwork that commemorates Juneteenth by exploring what the holiday or what freedom means to them. Freedom can mean celebrating joy, overcoming struggle, or dreaming without restraint. Whether it's embracing the present, reflecting on the past, or fighting for a more equitable future, we encourage artists to submit art pieces that acknowledge Juneteenth however they see it. And our next one is an event. It is called Window of Compassionate Curiosity. This is a workshop, and it is on Saturday, April 20th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Winchester Dondero Cultural Center. So this event is part of the Children's Day Festival. It's going to be in a booth, I believe, so anyone can just come by and do this workshop with Hugh. So youth are invited to contribute to a public artwork in this hands-on workshop. Participants will be led by artist Hugh to use fabric and cardboard in answering your funniest questions. Youth participants' work will then be integrated into a larger public art installation at the center. Okay, and another one, this one is an exhibit that we have up currently. It's called At the County Fair. The reception for this is Thursday, May 23rd from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It will be up for exhibit from April 15th till May 23rd. And this is at the Clark County Government Center Rotunda Gallery. Our juror was Jesus Solis Leon. It's time to celebrate the history and art influenced by the Clark County Fair. It has been around for almost 60 years and has grown to be one of the most important events of Clark County. Reception performance will be by Branson Anderson. So there will be performance as well during the reception. And then our monthly art committee board meeting. This will be Tuesday, May 14th at 3:30 p.m. You are able to join us either in person at the Parks and Recreation main building at Sunset Park or through WebEx link just like this one. This meeting is where the board and Clark County Public Art staff discuss current and future public art projects. Attendees will have 2 opportunities to ask questions or make comments about the topics at hand. And then really quick, our resources page, as usual, we have Nevada Arts Council up there for all of your art calls and events needs. Everything is compiled there that covers whole of Nevada. And if you're looking for particular ones, we have the City of Las Vegas, City of Henderson, City of Reno, and Carson City, who do public art projects as well. So definitely check them out for opportunities and events. And then last but not least, our contact information. Our email is ccpublicart@clarkcountynevada.gov. Our phone number is 702-455-8685. You can sign up for our monthly newsletter for updated information about calls, projects, and events. And we also offer one-on-one meetings if you're an artist who would like a little more personal meeting with our staff members to talk specifically about your documents. We can help you build your documents such as CVs, resumes, image lists, passport, letter of intent, and so much more. So yeah, that is for anyone, local or even non-locals. We can definitely help you out as long as we are talking about Clark County public art projects. So that is all of my announcement here, and just to let attendees know, you will all receive an email after this workshop with a copy of these announcements just for your information. Let me stop sharing really quick. And then now that I'm done with my announcements, are there any other questions from our attendees?
I just wanted to thank the presenters.
Thank you so much, Vision. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And Jeff Fulmer, he is actually one of our board committee members here at Clark County. Says, no questions. Thank you, Eileen and Clark County Public Arts for another great full scope. Thank you, IS Day presenters and the International Sculpture Center, and have a great day all. Thank you, Jeff, for joining us today. It's great to see you on. Well, it looks like no one else has any other questions, but if you do, please feel free to reach out to us and we can connect you with any of our speakers today. We will also be posting this on our website, and under the video for this workshop, we'll also have all of our speakers' bios, information about the International Sculpture Center and how you can join, the links that that Courtney and Manju shared with us today. We will also include on that post so anyone can access it. And I think that's all for today. Do we have any final words from our speakers?
Yeah, I would
Really,
like to say, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I just want to say thank you for inviting us, and it's a pleasure, and thank you for setting this kind of thing up. We're always eager to spread the word and do more of our work.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for joining us today, because we really needed that, insight on how to get in with this, right? Because a lot of the entry level artists are always very hesitant to join in because they think that it's not something that they can reach. Now, listening to all of you speak about it, I think our attendees feel a lot better, going in on it and just trying it out.
Right.
Imaji, you
Great.
had a few words as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we would be happy to give a complimentary copy, digital copy of our current issue to all the participants. So if they were interested in it, they could just email membership@sculpture.org for the free magazine, and I would be happy to give them a copy, send a complimentary digital copy to all of them.
Oh, that's really wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That is amazing. Well, it looks like that's the end of our workshop. Thank you everyone for joining us today for Full Scope. All attendees will receive a copy of the announcements through email after this workshop. I hope to see you again next month when we have our presentation by Thomas Detour Evans about pricing murals. Thank you so much, speakers, for your time, and attendees, thank you for joining us today. Have a wonderful Tuesday.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.